It was a decade where people went crazy about the pulsars and charismas. Maybe it was a beginning for the performance bike segment in India. But in the year 2008, Yamaha came up with a bike which is no other brand in India has shown up till then. And it was a sports bike which actually looked like a miniature version of the mighty R1 and was powerful enough to slay the industry performance motorcycle in India. It was called by the name R15 and as expected it was the best over 150cc sports bike in the country from then. As a kid, we were grown up admiring this machine and we keep admiring the looks and performance which is capable of taking us to the racetrack and enable us to learn the basics of motor racing, as well as it made us look even more stylish for the college days we lived in. Despite the racing ergonomics, it is still used mostly in the city traffic also. Before we go ahead, YouTube is telling that 80% of the viewers have not subscribed. So please press the subscribe button and the bell icon for the detailed bike reviews that we will provide in the future. The R15 has a rich 12-year history in India, from which there was no year where it lost its fan base and craze in the youth even until now. Let's speak about the design of the BS6 R15 V3. If there is one word to describe the design, it is spectacular. I could say the R15 V3 is the best looking and beautiful motorcycle in the 150cc segment since it carries the design of its elder sibling like the body panels and the tail lamp section which is completely borrowed from the R6. At the front we get twin LED lights that doesn't illuminate well, which we always complain about, but it's appealing, and there is an air duct in between the headlamps which is not functional at all but looks good however. Coming to the rear view mirrors, they don't work very well but can do the job since you need to concentrate all over to see who is coming from behind. Talking about the instrument console, it is full of information and works really well in the harsh sunlight as well. It says hi and goodbye when you turn the kill switch on and off. And it also has a gear shifting indicator, so that lets you know that you have shifted the gear. And yes, the switch gear quality is improved compared to the BS4 version, so the overall fit and finish is good and okay. You also get dual horn from now and it is pretty loud. But the complete panel fits seems to be a little incomplete and there are panel gaps all over the place when compared to the R15 V2. I mean, the V3 seems to be fragile and couldn't give us the confidence that it wouldn't break into pieces when falls down. Overall, the fit and finish would be better and should have been filled the gaps between the panels. Now in terms of performance and the engine's reliability, you get a 155cc fuel injected engine that makes 18.6 bhp of power and 14.1 Nm of peak torque mated to a 6-speed gearbox. The engine accelerates well until 0 to 15 km in the first gear and starts grinding to get the pull. And the same happens while you get into the second gear until you reach the 30 km per hour mark. But when you shift the gear into the third, there comes the smoothness and excellence performance you would experience on a sports bike, and it is very quick to accelerate indeed. There are no such vibrations even at higher revs. Thanks to the variable valve actuation, you wouldn't get to see this VVA feature in any other motorcycle available in this segment, only to the likes of the BMW S1000RR. Even though the bike gets a single cylinder engine, there are no such heating issues and vibrations whatsoever. The gear you are in, or be it an extensive ride, the liquid cooling system works absolutely great. The best part you can talk about this bike is the engine. It's exceptionally well-tuned engine we have ridden so far. You can call it an all-rounder performance. Like, it is so flexible to all the speeds. The R15 V3 does its best in whatever speed you want it to hit it. It's just the top class performance at low end, mid range and top end. Truly, it's tractable and grounded, which can do everything all thanks to the variable valve actuation. Other best things you can observe is the 6-speed gearbox, which are precisely tuned, and the gear shifts are under the control of slip and assist clutch. Again, that's the first and best in segment, if I could say. Gear shifts from neutral to 6th and 6th to neutral can be done in split seconds with ease and no sort of hiccups and vibrations felt from the gearbox. Well, reaching to the neutral is very easy, so you can completely rely on the gearbox in city traffic as well as in highways, which transforms its pace. The torque is equally shared to the gears and the power it on offer is 18.6 bhp, and yeah, that's really felt. You get the best in class power from this engine. Talking about the seating position, yes, it is committed and craves for aggressive riding posture. With a seat height of 815 mm, people who are short may feel it uncomfortable since they need to stretch their arms forward and the whole body weight is felt on the arms and shoulder itself. So a long ride on this is definitely going to give you a backache. But the riders who are above 5'8" can feel it quite comfortable and less bothering. I am 5'11" and I felt it pretty much comfortable and my legs were tucked under the tank very well. So when you grab the tank with your legs, it seems very confident and easy to handle and flick around with the corners. I have ridden the bike for around 1.5 hours and I never felt any kind of back pain or wrist pain or any kind of discomfort on this bike. The foot pegs are rear set but not completely rear set like a trike bike. It is a comfortable bike altogether. The seat is long and wide enough. I am a healthy guy and I felt it comfortable in moving to and fro to just adjust myself. While you crouch under the visor to go higher speeds, the rear seat becomes your backrest and it feels like pure racing machine. But the issue is with the turning radius and handling in short spaces. When you have to try to make a U-turn, the handlebar hits the fuel tank and your wrist undergoes a lot of pain at times. And talking about the pillion seat comfort, the seat is adequate and good, but unfortunately the pillion doesn't get any grab rails to hold on and must have to hold the rider tightly to be confident on the whole ride. Although the seat is high and a friend or your sibling can be accompanying for a short ride, it would be difficult for your elders in your family because it's a sports bike indeed. Other major issues it has: when you brake hard, there is a pillion behind, it's gonna be a challenge to your wrist and shoulder, since the pillion's weight and your weight inclusively falls on your wrist while you are in an aggressive seating posture. That's a risky thing which I have felt on my own. A sports bike performing well even in the city and mild off-road as well? Yes. With a 41 mm telescopic fork suspension at front, the R15 V3 becomes a flexible piece of art on any kind of terrain, whereas the rear gets a monoshock which is not preload adjustable now. This suspension is great for the track and you can attack corners like anything. If you get long winding roads, it is crazy. It has ground clearance of 170 mm. It felt easy on our roads and it delivered what it meant to do. All-round performance, small potholes and speed breakers are dealt well without any problem. We even tried some off-roading with pretty bad roads and the bike glides through it easily. But if the bad roads get worse, then the pain on your wrist is gonna be very much high, since the riding posture come into the play again to pay off its reaction to the roads, because that's how it is. Getting down under the suspension, the alloy wheels are designed very sportive, and the best thing here is the colored alloy wheels we get on this blue color option. It looks perfectly stunning in blue, better than any other color that is available right now. Now these are 17 inches. Since the rear 140 section tire is a radial one, you could expect a lot of grip at corners and on slippery surfaces too. I wished if we get a radial at front too. Now these are tubeless ones. The handling goes very well even in the muddy roads with enough grip. I could say R15 V3 is one of the sharpest handling bike in 150cc segment. With this handling and grip, you could slay on the corners, but you need to concentrate well, however. And the important part of any motorcycle are the brakes. The 282 mm disc at front and a 220 mm disc at rear, which are well calibrated with dual channel ABS, can be relied even on worse roads with mud and slush. Well, we did have some bad roads here. The brakes work instantly with the smallest pull you give on the levers. The overall braking feedback is mind-blowing and the brake levers finish is done well. From 50 to 0 km/h, it takes about 3 to 4 seconds to halt completely. You will appreciate the brakes and I could say the bite is quite addictive. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. The first pro is the bike offers you whatever you want to do it with. It's like a horse and you are its owner. Second, the VVA engine, which is liquid cooled, is spectacular and smooth along 6-speed gearbox and a slipper assist clutch which works exceptionally flawless. The brakes on offer are ideal and gives you confidence even at corners and works really well on bad roads too. with the help of ABS. And the fourth and the last is the R1 design, which everyone looks for in a sports bike, which comes with premium looking panels. Coming on to the cons, the first con is the panels are good but not the panel gaps, so the build quality can be improved to look more beautiful. Second con is the blinkers or the indicators are not LEDs, they are still the conventional bulbs. Third con, the committed riding posture will not suit all the riders, and if you want to go for long rides, you can't do that on this sports bike. But in a way, it's a good sign that you can do some good cornering and also practice track-based techniques which can improve your racing skills in your beginning stage. Now the fourth and the last con, which no one talks about, is the price. Yamaha is ever increasing the prices of R15 silently every time. Some time ago it got dearer by 2,300. The bike will cost you around 1.49 lakh. The Dark Knight will cost you at 1.5. So the final verdict, although the R15 V3 is really good sports bike for beginners, if you are searching for a bike that would never give up on you at any cost and you will be never bored on it, always make you feel fresh with its performance and handling as well as a decent mileage. The R15 V3 stands first if you are a sports bike lover. You get an all-rounder performance bike that can do in city, highway and bad roads, but in a controlled manner. The gearbox, brakes, slip assist clutch and the suspension work seamlessly without any malfunctions. So if you're looking for a beginner sports bike, then you should really have a look at this bike. So thank you for watching our video. If you really like our video, then press the like button and do subscribe to our channel. Press the bell icon so that you will be notified every time we put a video on our channel. Thank you.